All right, hi guys. So welcome to another episode of the Clear Growth podcast. So today we'll be talking about the six figures versus seven figures thinking in online business. Guys, you can take it away.
Yeah. All right. So 6 figures versus 7 figures. I think we have been in both situation, and I think the difference to me at least is quite big lah. The contrast is quite big. So maybe I just share some of my experience. We take this a bit more lighthearted lah. I think too serious. Just try to keep it a bit more fun. Right. I think for me, first example for 6 figures versus 7 figures offer owners at least. I noticed that actually 6 and 7 figures, 6 figures tend to have more funnels than 7 figures. You usually think that it's the opposite, but reason being is because I noticed that for 6 figure offer owners, right? I mean, I've been guilty about it in the past as well. Is that the reason why we have so many funnels is because we just don't really know which is the right funnel for our offer.
Yeah.
Right? And then for 7 figure owners, they usually just focus on one funnel for their offer and just scale up the funnel. Right? So for 6 figure owners, they just don't know whether they want to use an application funnel, a call funnel, or a webinar funnel. There's so many funnels out there to use. You just don't know what to use.
I think when we started agency, when you started doing other things as well, especially for like info clients or even like your old company, what I realized is that everyone at the start tends to do too many things. They try to be a 8 figure company at 6, right? They try to push through like, oh, the 9 figure company or ClickFunnels have a book funnel, have a YouTube channel, have a Facebook group, have a software, have this, has that, then has a webinar funnel. Wow, so many things, right? In the end, what happens is that when you do everything, you just basically die because you don't know what works. You don't know what's your best. You cannot delegate. You don't know what's your best sales process as well. In the end, you get eaten up by your own focus and decisions making. The context of this is like we've been realizing that actually it always follows the same patterns lah. What I mean is that not the 6 figure business owners, most of them think in this way. And our whole goal in during the consulting program, one-on-one intensive, is to get them to think the right way, which is to make good decisions, be more focused, and one channel, one offer, one sales process technically can give you 1 million. Be it whatever you do, organic, paid ads, wherever you do paid ads, whatever funnel you do, doesn't matter, right? If you already have one working and you double down, most of the time it will make money. The reason why we're talking about this today is because we saw a very interesting tweet by I think J.K. Molina. I've been following him online in podcasts, I think, and I think one of his old tweets was to how to think at 6 figures versus how to think at 7 figures, and really encapsulate like what we have been seeing in patterns with our clients, with people that we talk to, our friends, and it's a never-ending cycle. I feel unless you get and understand the fundamentals truths about business. Yeah. So coming to the next point, right? So we talk about the one funnel. You're technically one funnel away in a sense, right? You can optimize it. If you can't, or you feel that webinar is dying, that's why I should change. If you haven't even hit like 100K with a webinar before, majority of the time is you're not even doing things the right way, and that's the real reason. Or people say like webinars die, you do low ticket. Low ticket is dying, you do lead magnet and emails. Emails are dying, you do online social media on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Maybe that is dying, you need to do paid ads to BSL funnels. That is dying, you need to do what are other things are there. I think that's about it, right? VSL, webinars, workshop funnels, all this, or it's too expensive, you need to get be free. So there's a lot of noise by everyone. Everyone just peddling their own opinions and their own, in a sense, offer to sell you something.
Yep.
So that's why it's very, very confusing on social media, on ads and stuff like that.
So what are some advices that you can give to the listeners if let's say they just don't know what funnel to use at the current moment? What are some consideration points?
If you're not selling, sell first. Sell the way that you feel the most comfortable with. One of the best ways that I found out how to learn how to sell is to analyze how you buy, how you like buying. Sorry, how you buy is technically how you sell to those people like you to buy your stuff as well. So that's the easiest. Like, you don't need much training. You do not need much like tonality, technicalities. Be very, very good at framing and stuff like that. You do need certain aspects of that when you're getting better. But let's just say assigning to me right now, I know that I need very little sales. I need more marketing, and I will read a lot or watch a lot of certain things, and then if I do certain actions, after a while I want to buy if whatever you have been saying, the content I'm consuming, right, is within the same logic, or like it's just a core big idea, right? As long as you can say one thing many different times and I keep listening. More likely, I'll just hop on a call, message you and say I'll buy. And that's how I buy. So knowing this, then okay, what fundamental truths I know is that okay, organic maybe works better for me to build trust. Because at a different level right now, and if attracting higher tier clients, I'll need more trust rather than I just whack getting more leads, more leads, more leads and trying to sell them. That's not how it works. Especially if I go overseas, they don't know who I am, they never see me before, I have no name. That's not gonna how it works. But if you're a beginner, then fundamentally it's different. If you don't know how you buy, you cannot analyze. You need to try a few methods to see what has the most success for you. Right, so for beginners, if you haven't sell anything before, you're trying out doing online for the first time. Most of the time, won't be watching this podcast. But yeah, the main goal is to get your first sale, and once you get your first sale, you can double up. You can add one more, and another one, and another one. So a lot of people try to take 3 steps before they take the first step. If they haven't even sell, means they haven't even get into the sales conversation, haven't even meet somebody. So you need to do it step by step first, and then sell. Right, the best way to sell, I think, honestly, it's not through text. Is you need to understand humans psychology, look at facial expression and everything. It's still the normal selling way, one-on-one. And once you get used to that, then you can do all the fun stuff, right? Think about the funnels that you like to do and stuff like that. Easiest way to sell to your own audience first, and then from there identify really how to get that one funnel working. All right, so let's just say you're very good at social funnels, or you just do a post and then you get people on a call. You did a few closing, and that's when I know that I should double down on social closing. If I've been going out networking as a funnel, and I've been talking to people, and then I sold the people in networking because they like me and they like how I talk, they like my character, my personality. That's how I should create. I create events. I go to events. I should buy courses to sell people in the courses as well. That's my base, right? Baseline. That's how you should do the decision making when you're starting out. And that's how we do our decision making when we are repeating, like when we're creating a new business, we're thinking about crafting for a new offer. Usually the questions we ask our clients are similar. But
Yeah.
what's your advice for them, Elias?
I think for me, it's quite similar to you. Most important thing is that if you don't know which funnel to focus on or what kind of sales process, is to see which one are you most comfortable with, right? Because when people say webinars are dead, not really.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think any funnel is dead or any type of selling is dead. It's only a matter of like the audience, they are getting smarter and then they know what is the sales process like.
Correct.
Right?
Mm.
So it's not that it's dead, it's just that people who used to sell bad offers, yes, their webinars are dying, correct.
Yeah, it's getting harder.
So going back to my point, I think end of the day, it's see what are you most comfortable with. Are you more comfortable selling one-to-one? Are you more comfortable selling one-to-many? If it's one-to-one, then of course, you can always do like application funnel, call funnel, things like that. But also take into account of your price point. Because if you sell one-to-one, scalability is lower. Oftentimes, it's better to have a higher AOV or a higher offer price.
Yeah.
Right? But you need to know that the cash conversion cycle is another thing.
Yeah, I think the best advice I ever heard from one of my mentors is you just pick one and go all in.
Yeah.
Right.
End of the day, just pick one.
Yeah, end of the day, just pick one. Don't overthink about it. I think I think I was saying to a few people, like, you can say you don't like things. I think I also said in the last podcast, but I can't remember exactly where I said it. You can say you don't like things, but the truth is that you don't like it because you suck at it most of the time. And then when you get good at it, then when you're tired of it, then you can say, I don't like it. So when you're a beginner, you just need to suck it up and get it done. Best entrepreneurs I see, you just get it done, get the money in, then they repeat and repeat and repeat, and then they think about maybe what type of business they want to create, right? So most of the time when you start a business, first business is never the end business. Just take it as you learn a skill, you grow your skill, and earn some money. And I think that's a good mindset to think about in terms as when you're at like 6 figures. And so moving on, in terms of like the process of like the thought process of 6 figures versus 7 figures, I think we talk about, there's a lot of things we talked about last time as well. Like how they track is very, very minimal. How 7 figures track is like they want to know where dollar is coming from. I think that's something we see a lot. I mean, not only 7, 8, 9 figures, they always do it. They obviously with more data analytics and stuff like that. But at 7, I don't think you require to do until so extensive. Reason why is because if you don't know where your money is coming from, you can never know how to scale, never know where to put more money in. 6 figures always talk about low CPL, low everything, but they don't talk about high revenue. Where does the money come from? I find that very, very true as well.
Actually, one thing I noticed, right, is when you talk to 7-figure people and 6-figure people, 7-figure people or rather offer owners, they are very clear with their data. They know what particular messaging, the creatives, how it should be edited. They know what's their CPA. They know what's their LTV. They know all kinds of data in their business. But for six figures, they only know what. Most of the time, they only know what is their CPL, right? And what kind of messaging they are using to pull in their audience. Most of the time, they're just guessing,
Yeah.
hoping that it works. That's something that I noticed among the two. What about you?
Coming back to the same point, right? Yesterday I was talking to somebody. Then he was saying like, oh, a coach asked him to run lead magnet funnel. So same, right? So like, then I asked him, oh, so where does most of your leads actually come from? He said referrals. Then I'm like, okay, referrals. Then why are you running like lead magnet funnels, right? For he did referrals to the point he's doing 300K a year. 400K a year, right? Then it was interesting because like, then I asked him, have you systemized referrals? Hey, referrals cannot systemize. No such thing. Right? You can always ask after 6 sessions, 7 sessions. It's a PT. So if you know where they're coming from, and then he has a few referral sources. So if you can identify the right referral sources to double down, he can make more money as well. I'm not going to say he make maybe 1 million, but maybe he can add another 100, 200K without much effort. Really without much effort, as long as he systemize it. And he asks his clients sell after X amount of session, or have email sending out X amount of session to give them something, right? So that's the systemization part. But the other part goes back to the first point where we talk about you run a lead magnet, but your funnel is technically a social funnel most of the time. So it's like a imbalance in like the lead quality and everything. And you don't really know how to convert those leads into buyers or clients and customers. So the truth is that to create customers from there for him is just to double down on traffic on the socials, right? So Facebook, you add more friends. LinkedIn, you add more friends. And his offer is to busy professionals or like entrepreneurs to peak performance. Then his lead magnet offer is I think like don't know 50 foods you can eat in CBD area, like town area, without to lose weight. Then I'm like, you attract people like totally not qualified, right? And then that's like something
Yeah.
interesting. Then like, okay, why do you do it? Then he like, I do it because like they tell me to do. I just want to get it done. Okay. Then do you think that you attract right people? No. Then what do you
Then
run
what you
ads?
still do?
But we were very interesting. They said, why don't you change it to like peak performance, like the process to get peak performance, how you get more energy in a day. It will get the right people, right?
Mm.
Comparison to the other side. And then you know that after a while you can convert them. So like the thought process is that they don't really think. I feel like 6-figure people don't really think for themselves most of the time. They understand that, but they're too busy to make better decisions. So means 6 figures spend their whole day doing shit, right? Means doing stuff, you do admin work, you do fulfillment, you do invoicing, you do hiring, you train your people. At the end of the day, you don't have time to rest, don't have time to make decisions to work on the business. 7-figure people try their best not to do anything. Or like 7, 8-figure, right? In 7-figure, there's still semblance of like you need to do certain things. But when you hire a delegate at 8, 9, typically you don't spend so much time in the business, spend on the business.
I think that's totally true. I think for my end, usually I just see the six figures. They only rely on the Facebook pixel tracking.
Yeah.
I think pretty much that's the most they go. But for 7 figures, like what we mentioned, I think previous podcasts, we at least
Okay.
minimally they have a UTM.
Most of the time, they don't have money to hire a media buyer. Let's just put it this way. So they have no idea about tracking, they have no idea about everything, and then they don't learn bare minimum as well. So
Self-learn.
no, even with self-learn also like, okay, we are from marketing background, but if we haven't done ads and haven't done everything, I would say it will be a tough process for me to get it done, especially when I'm doing a coach. So I understand where they're coming from. But typically at 6, let's just say you're earning 300K, you have money to hire a media buyer, a bare minimum, right? It's not very expensive to hire, like, let's just say from different countries, like 2,000 USD, more than enough. What's going to be the cost? Maximum is going to be like 24,000. Let's just say add bonus, add a bit of 26, 28 USD. If you're earning 300K, 200K, that's like 10%. And let's just say you're not even spending like 3K a month. Let's just say you spend 3K a month. Total you add up, how much is it? It's like 60, right? So your max loss is, instead of you lose $60,000, your rewards is maybe every month you can add another 20, 30K. Right? So the risk is actually is good to take as well. Okay, but the second thing is also the decision making of finding out where is the most profitable, and so they can double down on it. Right? One is you hire media buyer. Second one, decision making, is it the right time? Do I really need to do it? Or I already know that most come from organic and I can double down. That's another issue, right? So it's a like a complex problem that you need to decide. More of the time, people need to decide for themselves which one to solve first.
Yeah. Don't just do things because other people are doing it or you hear that it's good, right? Just double down on what you're
I
good at,
mean,
what's already working for you. Lah.
both of us already been through that road lah. It's not like we are perfect people that instantly we
Yeah.
can think seven figure mindset. No such thing lah. We also fumble throughout while working or doing our own business and stuff like that. We understand, but if you can get clarity from mentors, from people, and telling you in front of it makes sense to you when we say it, but when you're doing it, it doesn't make sense because like you don't think of it in that manner.
Yep.
Yeah, because you get very very like don't have really a lot
So
of patience and don't have confidence.
there's also a lot of emotional aspect, right? When you're doing
Yeah,
your own business.
if you're losing money, I think nobody will feel great.
Yeah. So it's good to have a trustworthy person, an outside point of view with no emotions or no emotions attached to your business. I think that
Yeah,
one they can be a lot more objective driven.
yeah. So let's go into like teams when people hire.
Oh yes. Okay, this one, yeah, it's quite a painful experience, I would say,
Painful experience.
from my own experience. All right, so I think for six-figure businesses, right, a lot of them they try to hire people who are a bit more inexperienced, right, or totally brand new to the industry, and thinking that they can train them from scratch just to cut costs, right? Whereas seven figures, they actually do the opposite. They invest in high caliber people right from the get go, and then allow them to create systems and to perform their best, right?
Yep.
So I think I've been in both scenarios before, both as an employee and more of the managerial level. From now, I mean, now at this stage, I always will want to hire the higher caliber people because wow, training the more inexperienced people takes a lot of time and energy.
Mm. I do have like a different perspective. Most of the time, right? Obviously at six figures, you cannot hire experienced people because you do not have
Yeah, I
enough
like that
cash
story actually.
or cash flow, or
The
like
eight
sometimes
figure
it's an
people, they
overkill
really think on a
type of
different
thing.
level.
I think the context of
Yeah,
this is
it,
you
they see
hire
problems.
for roles that you do
A lot
not
of time they
know
see
how to
problems
do,
as new
right?
potential.
Hire professionals, hire people with experience to
And I
advise
really
you
like that.
and help you do it better than what you are
All right.
currently doing it. Okay, fine. So at six
So
figures,
is there
usually people, let's just
anything
say
else
I
you can
don't know
talk
how to run
about?
ads. They hire someone new. Then you give them some course. It's not like they can magically become somebody who can run ads lah in like one day, right? So I think we've been through both sides also. Technically, I did that on my own in the first few years of like running an agency. But I had experience like running ads on dropshipping, but not service based. And it was tough, right? I had to train people under me to do exactly the same thing, which are all interns. I mean, if I go through that same process again, I don't really want to go through it. So I'd rather delegate. So the reason why most of the time they hire people they never done before is cash. All right. So cash is easily solved. It's basically revenue. So in a nutshell, if you can think like of solutions, right? Example is that let's just say now we are put in a very very like gray area. Obviously you don't want to be a coach, more a service provider lah. If coach you don't have experience or consultant don't have experience doing certain things and you sell it, it's a bit gray. I would say like you're not really you're selling something that you don't really know how to do is a bit weird. But if you're a service provider, that is possible. Let's just say we sell ads, for example. I can technically always hire somebody that knows much better than me, use their case studies, and then we can actually do a lot of different things with it. We can sell higher price so that our revenue are much better, right? And then we can afford to hire them right now, right? Most of the time, and that's the crux. If I will redo everything, that's what I will do. I'm not going to start, from scratch. Usually, I will leverage, and that's what I think most of the time seven figures people do. It's not really the business; it's more of the mindset and the thought process. And I can get a client pretty fast with that, like thought process. No need to start from scratch. No need to fumble around. I already instantly got case studies. Like unlike last time that we just stuck there, cannot do. Who do we choose a niche? What niche should we do? What offer? What funnel? What etc. Here and there. Doesn't matter, right? If I can get a partner and I can negotiate down, or I can get somebody that I can hire for a certain price range that do not want to take risks in business, I'm willing to take that risk. And it's not like it's a lot of money. Right? Even starting from zero. if you want to start a business, you need to invest 10K. And if I say I can invest 5K in 1 month for this guy, all I need to do in that 1 month is to sell one client, technically to break even. And that is like very low risk to me. Or even better, if I'm better in negotiation, I can say, hey bro, can we do like a profit share deal? Any client I get, I give you 30-40% of the deal. I'll manage everything else on the front, account managing and everything. You just need to run ads and give me the strategy. That's essentially a very, if I am trustworthy, I have brand awareness in that space, I can easily do it. You can do it even if you know nothing. It's just more of negotiation and giving them more piece of the pie, right? So that's how I feel.
The same sentiments about that part. Like if let's say if you're currently six figures, don't have a lot of cash, I think that's one way to look at it as well. Right, the profit sharing part, right? Leveraging on their case studies and then getting more clients from there. So the seven figure part, I guess this is just from my experience. Lah. I'm not sure about you. It's just that when working with a seven figure team and six figure team, it's very, very different.
They get more stressed about hiring 6 figures. They get scared. And they scared of fire. I think last time we also scared of fire. But 7 figure, I think it's like more of like you knowing what you want. Like okay, another part is like knowing what you want. So I put in a point. Last time I hire like personal assistant, like 2 years ago. I have a PA. I don't really know what I want a PA to do. I just hire for the sake. Hey, people say you should hire, reduce your time, right? I hire. Then I'm like, okay, then you just do a bit prospecting for me, just repost my stories. After a while, I feel like it's a waste of money. Because like I have nothing for her to do, and I'm constantly finding things for her to do. So what I realized is that you do have that clarity on like where your business want to go and what the team member should do, right? That is the problem when you hire, right? Let's just say I hire a media buyer, but I don't have any funnels. I ask him, hey, what funnels should I do? Oh, I tell you, that's a horrendous arrangement. Within 3 months, he will be get fired or something, right? Definitely. You don't need to see it. But now when I hire a new PA, I know exactly. I list down every single thing that I do, right? That I want them to do. So recently, one of my clients also asked me, hey, Bryan, like, so do you know what a personal assistant or social media exec can do for us? Then I'm like, okay, that means you're very, very unclear what you need help in the business or like what you want to delegate away. Let's fix that first before we hire, right? So then we'll fix that, then we hire. Yeah, so I learned this from people who are like MNCs people that have courses and whatnot on like or like even YouTube videos on how to hire a personal assistant. So they are very, very detailed down to actually at least delegating like certain tasks away. Not everybody's like that, to be honest with you. Some entrepreneurs are all over the place. But when they're all over the place, they can hire people that are much better than them, especially when they got cash. Right? And they know to do that. Because if not, you don't want to do it.
Right, and then he asked me what was my 1 year plan, 3 year plan, 5 year plan, 10 year plan. Right, and then to be honest with you, I couldn't answer. Right, because at that point of time, I really was just going with the flow. Lah. Didn't even have a plan. Right, and then he said to me, like, take some time to actually think through what you want for your company, what you want for your income, and be very detailed to the point where you want to know how you look, how you dress, how you want to make people feel, what you want your business to do, the impact it has. And then the reason why you do that is because once you have this kind of clarity, you will know that which people can bring you there and who cannot bring you there, who to avoid. And to me, it made a lot of sense because the moment I did that, it took some time to think, and it took me very long to think actually. I know what kind of people I need
Mm.
in the company to bring me to the next level. And I mean, this kind of hiring don't need to rush, lah, right?
Yeah, especially when you are not in need of like scale can be slower. No need to be so instantaneous.
Correct. I mean, there's no rush. Nobody's lighting a fire under your ass or something. But for me, it's always about knowing exactly who I need, what they can do, how exactly they can help you, and then you know how to push them.
Yep.
Okay, I wouldn't say push them, then you know how to pull them.
I don't know about a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. I don't really have that. I have only one. For me, 3, 5, I have a different view because like unless you want to take the company to like 10-year runway, then this is something you want to do for life, then obviously you should have 135. But personally, I feel on a personal level, you should at least have a 1 year view of like what's happened next year, 1 to 3 year view, right? Not necessarily need to be five. So sometimes life change, your own thoughts change, and things change. Even when you plan, right, 135, you might change lah. But it's a good like direction or like path for you to look forward so that you know exactly what you want to do. Which is true. Like most people don't think about that.
Yep.
And also like having that clarity last time, I think like I had a lot of time to think the last 3 years. So I already found out like what path I want to go lah. But for most people, I think the way yeah, for most people, I think the way is to try first, especially when you haven't made anything like for yourself. Like when you listen to advice, listen to the context of the advice. So why are they saying this? Like obviously, Elias and me are in business for quite a while, and I think it'll be good for us to think. But if you haven't started, I think there's no point as well. Right? You just need to start. Most of the time, you are stuck at 6. You can think 135 lah. I agree lah. But solve the most problematic issue in your business which is like haunting you right now. Right? If it's leads, acquisition, if it's conversion, whatever it may be, focus on that. Don't over focus on too many things. Yeah.
Focus on the sales first, lah. Getting in the
Sales
cash.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think this is a good segue actually to our next point is actually friends and mentors. How six figures oftentimes when they are stuck, they seek advice from friends and mentors who actually didn't really solve their problems before or solve that particular problem before. I think they seek friends and mentors to give a bit more of emotional help lah, from what I noticed. And then for seven figures, they're really objective driven. They know exactly who are the right people to ask to get the right solutions to solve the problems as fast as possible. I think for this particular topic, you would have a lot more experience than me. So maybe you can share from your point of view.
I think of it like very, very differently when it comes to prom. So I cannot really relate when I talk to friends about it. I don't talk to my friends about my business problems. They cannot help. So even if I talk to them, I'm just ranting, right? And I'm not expecting like their answer to act on their answer at all, actually, most of the time. But sometimes they might give me good advice. So first thing first is like for me, particularly, or like how I see seven figure like people, my friends, like 7 figures and 8 figures above. We do one thing very differently. Is like fundamentally like we break down a problem first, like what next thing do we need to solve. Then we slowly find a solution, right? On people that are more expertise. Like maybe like recently I'm looking for SEO people, and my team was saying like, hey, what if SGE, which is like the Google News Search AI, come out, and then the SEO you all get just die, right? Basically, no matter how good we are at SEO, the AI will just in the number one search term, and like they will give you the answer before it gives our thing as a answer, which traffic will reduce by maybe 80%. But I'm not an SEO expert. I do not know whether this problem is unfounded or whatnot. But we are looking to getting more traffic in SEO side. So I asked a few people, a few of them give me some advice and stuff like that, right? They're all SEO experts. But then you want to decide for yourself what's the path you want to go down, which has the highest probability of success with your current resources. And does it make sense for you to hire X amount like people do it or have consults do it in-house? And that's when you think through resources, your time, ability to spend time on this, and then also like prioritization. Is this like a very good priority that you need to hire people to do it? Can you do it yourself? Can you hire entry level people to do it for you as well, or hire one person like just to replace the agency, whatever maybe? And that's how you can think. Typically, 6 figures will just ask their friend, "Do you have SEO agency?" Blah blah blah, and then it's like go and hire, and then they fumble, or they just go Upwork and do it, or like they hear other people say SEO not good, run pay ads. I know very clearly I need to solve the SEO problem next year because there's like organic traffic. Solve it for my clients, whatever maybe. And okay, that's the path I want to go down, right? But other people say, hey, no, don't do this, do that, do another thing, do this, that. I'm like, I mean, I hear them, I'm just like, okay, fine. What have you done it before? No. Okay, then like why you advising me? So I also have the same problem, right? Although like currently my experience is way more. So like sometimes the advice is with evidence. Maybe not my own evidence, but my client's evidence and stuff like that. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is that I think trusting your gut is very, very important rather than asking for too many opinions. 6 figures, typically clients as well, ask too many opinions from too many people. Then what happens next is that
They're confused.
yeah, they don't even do anything. They just sit there and wait. Why are you not clear? Oh, because this person tell me this, the other person tell me this, and I don't know what to do. And jialat.
Then how would you recommend like where to find the right people to ask the advice from? Because I have my ways, but I don't know whether my way can relate. I would say I'm very fortunate to be somehow be able to meet friends who are in the same field as me and solve the exact problems. But for what I do it is either number one, Facebook groups, trustworthy Facebook groups lah, like nothing happened, this kind of thing. Or actually attend those kind of local mastermind, like marketers meetups.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my path, and fortunately met a lot of people.
I also do that. Yeah, give me one. Okay. So, yeah, so I also do that as well. But right now, I tend to not do so much in terms of like, for example, right? I find people with business model that's similar or like exactly the same, maybe selling different stuff, and then ask for their advice in X, right? Depending on whether they're expert in X or not. And that's how I actually can decide better. Let's just say for the consulting program that we are intending to scale as well. Like last year, I just sold something to somebody, right? I didn't have a target audience not clear. I just want to see whether like I could do social selling. And I decided very from there after selling that a target audience that I want, who I want to serve, how I want to serve them, and the non-negotiables that I want, right? Then I go and look around for models that or mentors that are already using the models that I can learn from. So that's how I either I pay or I network until I get the answer. That is essentially how I did get most of the answer. It's more of like looking inwards like most of the time than outwards. And then if you can understand and decide for yourself, is this really where you want to go, what you want to do? I think that then that's when you can do the next step, which is to find the right person to ask. Right? Most of the time, you ask first before you think. I mean, it's okay to do that, but if you don't have a decision making tree or like opinions yourself, then it's essentially gonna be detrimental to you. I find that entrepreneurs, in a nutshell, needs to be alpha, especially in decision making. If you are not that, I think you will struggle very hard. Doesn't matter if I say right or wrong things. If you're asking me, but you have your own opinions. That's what matters. Because we technically entrepreneurs in a nutshell can bend reality, right? You can make it work. And there's not one solution to one problem. There is many solutions to the same problem. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. It's more like you take what you need. And the other thing is that people don't look at context. So like just now, I think what you say and what we say, right? They whatever advice they give you, like 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, they don't look at we've said today in this podcast, they don't look at the context of where we are at versus where they are at. And that's like very bad. They don't see what the guy has done, where he's the person at. That's why he's giving me this advice. Versus like, oh, I think he said this, we should just do. Like, no, like you need to think for yourself. I think that's the biggest issue. Be it 7-6 or whatever. Some people really know what they want, and that's like really thinking for yourself. The clarity is very underappreciated by a lot of entrepreneurs, but it's like one of the most crucial thing to how fast you can go to doing certain things.
Yeah, end of the day, I feel it's clarity.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the last point. Last time I think growth, like scaling, is linear. Very easy. Just put more money, spend more money. Then we'll earn more money. Just talk to more people, we'll earn more money. It's true to a certain extent.
Certain
Right?
extent,
It's
yes.
true. But in business, it's not like this. It's rather like that. Right? There's ups, there's downs, there's ups, there's down. The thing is about balance and how to balance going upwards to earn more money, to make more revenue, to be more safe in the environment, to create a moat. So over leverage has been one of the words like recently as well. Like I've been hearing people, myself, my other companies, other clients as well, and also seeing outside what other competitors are doing. And obviously during when the thing came, right, when the big C came, everybody over leverage, and then after it like not disappear, but rather when everything open up, get harder and harder and harder, and people wondering why. Why is it spend the same amount of money and get lesser revenue? That's a fundamental truth because there's always ups and downs, and everything is not going up unless you change something, you optimize something, and you keep working on it. Like in media buying or like what as marketers always know, you always be testing to a certain extent. And then when I say always be testing, it's not test every single thing to the point that you want to die, but you need to make decisions for yourself again, whether what things to test to give you the highest lift from what you know, ask the right people to see can I change certain things to increase. It's the same process, right? It's balance, right? Nothing is you do one thing then can do all the way up. Even at 9 figures, you realize that everything falls down to the same fundamental truths in business. You need to do everything in a nutshell. The bigger you grow, the more you realize that as entrepreneurs, when you start business, you don't want to be like MNCs. Once you reach that stage, you have no choice but to be an MNCs. That's funny because it's a cycle. You say you want to be different, but in the end, the growth, you have no choice but to be similar as the people that you don't like. Right? You can be a better leader. Not saying you can't, but the organization, how you grow, everything, all found boils down to the same thing again, and that's life in general as well. So I think the best takeaway is like you when it's ups and down, you need to know when to push very hard, step on the gas pedal, freaking go all the way in. And when it's going down, let's just say business is not doing that well, environment, stock market is not doing that well, pull back a bit, cut your fat, maintain high profitability to make moves that people cannot make in the market, right? So right now, a very good example that I always like is that let's just say I can invest SEO, can invest in content, right? That's one way. But if I have a lot of cash on hand compared to my competitors, and I know that certain news sites that give me a lot of referrals is dying, right? Let's just say referral sites, news sites, or whatever it may be. I can instantly buy them and then get instant traffic and instant revenue without worrying too much about the after effect of buying. And I can buy them for low valuation because the market is doing bad. That's the best time to buy. But there's still moves you can make essentially without you spending a lot of time. And that's how I see it. I think this I was telling you before we start. One of the stories was I heard from somebody. I can't remember exact story, but the gist of it is that ex-billionaire, right, was doing like I think a business with a bunch of millionaires. He used X because he lost all his money lah. But the mindset of a billionaire is still ingrained in him. So the group of millionaires were complaining that hey, this radio station isn't going to market for us anymore because of regulations that they changed in their company, whatever crap. And the guy was like asking them, how is this a problem? Then they look at him dumbfounded. They say, why can't you just buy over the radio station and just market whenever we want? Right? So the thought process of like the people at a high level is very different. And it's also not asking them to pay with their own money, right? Is you can take a loan. Because if the pros outweighs the cons in terms of the money outlay and the interest, essentially it's still a good deal. And whoever own the technically traffic, if you know your value of your traffic and they don't know the value of traffic, you're getting a good deal. And you're getting underappreciated. It's like an asset that is like value for money.
Yeah, I like that story actually. The 8-figure people, they really think on a different level.
Yeah.
They see problems. A lot of time they see problems as and I really like that.
Yeah, so a few things that I actually note down, and in a doc today as well. One of the key phrases I saw, I think I saw somebody complaining about ups and downs in business, which leads to same thing. Yeah, so there's doing some financial things in a group, and they were saying like, wow, when it was going up, everything was great. Then we try to legitimize the business, high over higher. Then like okay, over leverage every single shit again, try to make it work in a different way that they didn't know how to work, and then they fumble when recessionary period lah, or like when it's obviously the market is not doing as well, people are not spending so much, right? Not saying it's a recessionary period now, and then they are starting losing money because their overheads are very very high. So I think he put one quote, then he say that's how he get out. He go back to the roots of direct response marketing and then he got out of it, right? Great. But he said something is that unless you got something scaled on cold traffic, you're nowhere. There's something said by Justin Goff, one of a very good copywriter, and we all learn from him as well. So I think that's a very fundamental truth and very very interesting truth as well. So cold traffic doesn't mean need to be paid. It just means they don't know about you and you can scale.
It just means people don't know about you. Correct.
Correct. So you don't have that process to scale on cold. Doesn't need to be like immediate. The phrase never say that, right? To me, how I digest or how I would make this code easier to digest for people is that if you cannot have a process when you take a person that don't know you to know you and want to buy from you, you don't have a business in general. You're just running a hobby or like in a sense, you know what I mean? Because referral is technically don't know you to know you as well. Doesn't matter what. Partner channels is also unknown to known and buy. Doesn't matter what. As long as you can take that one channel or that one traffic source that you want and actually do that process over again with a high probability of success, you have a business that you can scale. And that I think is very, very important to boil down. As long as you have that, you don't need to worry about earning or doing business, right? You won't die in a nutshell.
Actually, regarding the cold traffic part, I think one thing important to note also is that I think if your offer is converting mainly on warm traffic, maybe a referral or an email list or what, it's not really a good indicator that you can scale. Because
Actually,
from
I
my
feel
experience,
cold
it
traffic
is. Reacts differently. You feel it is?
Yeah, I feel it is. You boil down to again, you boil down the layers, right? Okay, you're saying that okay, from warm traffic, I do these things that I cannot scale. So then the next question will be where does the email traffic come from first? Right, so I boil it down.
JV and all. Yeah, you have to boil it down.
Okay. So JV, right? So JV, partnerships, and I think that's all lah. Organic social media.
If it's warm, then pretty much that's it.
So that's a process that you can repeat. Obviously, there are limited amount of partners that you can get on board lah. So a very easy way that you can do is to go to partner and like do the newsletter way. Can you do a co-registration from your email list to my email list? I pay you X amount of leads, X amount of dollars per lead to offset your cost.
I think I was referring more of like if they take their their offer that they've only to say warm traffic and then they throw it out into Facebook ads or YouTube ads. And then they see that it doesn't work
and then that doesn't work, right? Because you haven't found the process that works. So it boils down to the same thing again.
Yeah, but if you scale up, if you double down on the way that you used to grow your email list, then yes,
Yeah.
That would be the scaling that works.
So like in the end, it's just like same thing as what we talk about in front. Is that you know how to double down, then basically you have a functioning business that you can scale.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, but besides that, like also people don't look into other forms of traffic. So they don't feel they always think like, oh, paid ads is the best. They don't think outbound, they don't think partnerships. They don't like the non-sexy stuff, which is like painful. Which is interesting, right? Like but sometimes the non-sexy stuff can give you a lot of money.
A lot more actually.
Yeah. Okay, so the next I think one of the tweet I actually put is like somebody actually did a Christmas promotion. Instead of running ads, they actually get influencers to not Instagram influencers but YouTube influencers. High intent, higher everything. And they said that did um 10x around like 9 10x ROAS. I think that was interesting to like see like new traffics, new opportunities popping up most of the time. And then like this was for e-commerce, but think of it in a way that how can I use it for coaching as well. I think that's a very interesting idea that people can easily do right now and not pay a lot of money as well because it's undervalued uh, opportunity. Yeah. What do you think about that? Like using influencers to do outbound, like obviously shout out your business and stuff like that, especially for like coaching space and consulting.
I mean, in theory, it makes sense. But I can't really give too much of my opinion because I have not tested this yet.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm quite unsure, and if I'm not confident, I don't say that. But in theory, it does make sense because in terms of YouTube influencers, again, you have to see how they grow their traffic, right?
Yep.
How they grow their channel, and then most of the time, their community and their fans are pretty high intent, pretty high quality. So I would say in theory that makes sense. But I need to do due diligence and check how they grew their channel.
So a simple way is to do what you have always done. Let's just say you lead them to a lead magnet funnel, and then you can just basically lead everybody to a free gift lead magnet funnel and then indoctrinate from there. If that's your sales process. Sales process, buy a book, let them buy a book. If your sales process is to watch your YouTube channel, get them to subscribe to your YouTube channel. So I think as long as you match the first phase of your cold to warm to buy to buyers, right? Don't match it in between the process, match it to the start of the process. Yeah, that's the main thing. So also I have clients saying they were forced to do like selling very very high ticket with a partner on certain events, which doesn't make sense because that's not their start of the process. So what you want to do is that you need to renegotiate with the platform, the partner that's helping you promote, to tell them that that's not the way that it is being done. Obviously, the partners want the money as fast as possible, which is why they're doing it, right? But it doesn't work that way all the time. Yeah, I think we go to the last thing, right? So recently also I think like something more personal is I think I was watching Abdul, one of the YouTubers, and he also create a lot of like courses, and also being known for productivity, right? So he was on My First Million, and then he was talking about uh his goals for next year and why is he a digital nomad right now, how much money he has earned. Recently he's earned a lot since like starting YouTube, and it's all through like cohort based YouTube academy, stuff like that. The one thing like actually resonated with me is that uh like people in selling info space always talk about impacting more people, right? I think this is similar to like certain insurance agents and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I sell insurance because I want to save your life, or I want to impact your life. um Most people are not true with themselves. I think that's the point I'm trying to make, right? For me, when I start a business, it's very obvious why you start a business. You want to make more money,
Make money.
right? You want to live a life that you can design, lah. I am not gonna be saying like, oh, I do this, right? If I do a tech, if I'm like very very aligned with obviously environment and stuff like that, I do a business for that. You need the money to make the environment better, right? So it's a subset of like of side effect. You know it very well. You invent certain things. Obviously, if you're a researcher, you inventor, then there's a different case. Yeah. But you need somebody to fund it as well. So like to me, it's not saying money is everything, but rather be okay with saying that you just want to get rich and don't be straight away from wealth. As Asians, also we are I think more not vocal on that front and like very very scared to say like, hey, I just want to earn more money, stuff like that. Yeah. So I think that's the main thing. And what do you think about that? Like when people, I mean, we all sell in a certain manner. I think you still need to sell, but uh, I like to sell more authentically.
I think, yeah, I agree. I think right now, from what I noticed, at least when doing sales, people know whether you're authentic or not.
Yeah,
And personally, I don't like the frame that people use where they're doing this to create an impact. I
I mean,
feel
you
that
do.
it's very overused,
Yeah.
right?
So
Especially if your actions and your positioning don't prove it that way.
true. Yeah, I thought like a lot of heart also. Like depending on how you say, how you fulfill. I think that's also important in a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how Mosey said one thing that I felt like is true is that for sales the number one key driver is conviction.
Yep. 100%.
If, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in your product, and you don't believe what you say, people will know immediately.
The number one trick I use for webinar close to clients that don't feel that their webinar very good is to tell them look in the mirror, tell yourself you are great, look at your case studies, shout your case studies out. So you're perfect, you are the best, you impact the world, you got more money from them. Instantly their close rate increased by 20-30%. It's like stupid,
Because they don't
like
believe in themselves.
most of the time you can hear from the travels of their voice that they
Mm.
scared to sell. But once you do the activity, you don't scared because you're not afraid to sell because like you have that conviction that you really got results. And then why are you scared to sell, right? And then that's when the magic happens. And then you say things that you regularly don't say because you don't believe in yourself. Right? And then now you're believing in yourself and that's why you say. And then that helps a lot. So like I think a lot of times is one of it is that if you're doing a disservice if you don't sell, and if you know that you help the person, lah, right? Most of the time is because personally you don't feel that you help the person, that's why you sell so badly. Yeah, coming off that point also, there were two other points in the YouTube podcast. One point that the second point was like he was saying that he sold a YouTube course when he's being known for productivity in business. Productivity in in YouTube, right? In his channel. And then the other sub point was that he compared Yes Theory versus him selling the YouTube course and why they
So
fail and why
did he
sorry?
share whether his YouTube course did well? I was very
Yeah,
curious
he's
in this.
doing like 50% of revenue from the YouTube course still. Like
On
around
the
there.
YouTube course.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's a big percentage.
Mm.
Yeah. So that was interesting because like being if you do a productivity, you do a lot of like educational content. If you are doing like be it be for business, be it for students, be it for anything. I feel that you will always be in a better frame to sell certain things than being at an entertainment channel, right?
Mm.
Obviously, entertainment channel, there's always a way. You sell mass market products, right? Clothing, prime, yes, chocolate, whatever, right? If you understand what I mean, you get it because that's easy to buy for everyone. But if you sell a 3, 4, 500, $1,000 course, if I'm a kid, 12-year-old kid, do you think I can buy? Can't, right? So you must understand your target market who watches. So I think he made a very very good point that even though he sold something that's not what he's known for, he still was able to sell it well. And that's what's interesting. That means like the way that you frame, that start your business and how you end it is or how you get clients, that must be aligned. If it's not aligned, basically if you do an ASMR YouTube channel, do you think you can sell anything? Maybe you can sell OnlyFans, but other than that, I don't know. If you
Oh, he's
yeah.
still only friends in
So
that.
if you look decently, okay, you can sell OnlyFans, but ASMR style, right? You got a unique mechanism, but okay, that's besides the point. That's why I say mass market. You can sell a mass market product like $7-8 per month, whatever it may be, or like sell a mic, or you sell. I think Yes Theory's case study was very interesting because like they are not they're entertainment and they're also education to a certain extent in terms of like saying yes. You need to like personal development and stuff like that. And it was very, very interesting when they sold a YouTube course, like even not even for $1,000, a few $100. The community like keep like become very angry. I think because at the start it's more about the channel
Doesn't resonate.
you watch is to for entertainment most of the time. It doesn't like give you motivation, it entertains you, it doesn't really like you're gonna learn something today. Right? The frame is very different. So you search for how to thing and the guy sell you a solution, will you be angry? I think that was like the main takeaway because like if I'm gonna viral on TikTok and then suddenly I say, hey bro, I sell you how to be viral on TikTok. I can sell, right? I'm not saying I can't. but it's like the rate of success is very low because you're hoping that your virality makes it work, which is why most influencers do brand deals and stuff like that rather than sell their own products or courses. Because it's hard. It's really, really hard to like flip the switch and the frame of the audience instantly. Yeah.
I know a few influencers case study, their followers very big. It's pretty hard for them to sell the product to the audience because the audience follow them for different reasons.
That's why they sell OnlyFans, bro. Sometimes.
No, I don't know.
It's easier for a lot of people, like sometimes. I'm not saying that it's bad or good, but rather it is a product that you can sell, right? You do business however you want. I have no say. It's your choice.
End of the day, it's a product to audience match.
Yes. Yeah, so if you influencer, you take half naked, like basically scantily clothed, sexy photos. Obviously, you attract certain type of people. And obviously the product you need to sell to them is also certain type of product that only attracts them. Right? So it's the frame to me. Right? If you're educational, you are family friendly, you have kids, then you showcase kids every time you can sell educational enrichment kids product. So it really matters the frame. For Yes Theory is more like you're selling an identity. So that's why clothing works pretty well. Because you wear that clothes, you feel that you are that identity now. You instantly, I am Yes Theories, like principles, values, and everything. I think that was interesting. So if they can create, I think if they can create like a goal setting course on journal, and that's like way better than what they're doing now. Yeah, so they can instantly make more and more, right? Obviously to fund the channel to do like crazy adventures and stuff like that. So that's how that's a very interesting concept idea lah. Yeah. So anything else you want to talk about?
I think no. We pretty much covered quite a lot of things today, but it was a very interesting episode, I would say.
So kind of end
Hopefully,
Sorry.
hopefully our viewers do learn something from this. If anything you guys want us to talk about, of course, feel free to comment down below or DM Bryan.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoy listening to this podcast, and I'll see you again.